So, what do we know about motivation? Motivation is one of those really, really interesting things because to different people it means different things. To some, it's the most positive thing you could possibly imagine because it is the thing that for them drives them forward to achieve in their life or to reach different goals. But for others, it's this self-driven thing which requires willpower, to motivate yourself, to get yourself motivated. It's something that sometimes requires a jump start. Whereas for me, inspiration is incredibly more powerful than motivation because when you're inspired, you're inspired. You just step into it. It's incredible. You move forward with grace and with ease, and things seem to just fall down in front of you. Inspiration is amazing. Now, as we say, motivation requires willpower, and willpower is a finite resource you have within. It's going to run out at some point. For some of us, it lasts longer than it does for others. But the fact is, it still takes some kind of effort on your part. So to find inspiration is to find this almost source of energy that sits within you, which is just consistent. For the entirety of the time that you can keep yourself inspired, you will have the energy, the focus, the attention, the awareness, and absolutely everything that you need to go out there and achieve what you want to do. So how do we create inspiration? And where's the real distinction between being inspired and being motivated? And, fans of the dictionary may tell me that my literal comparison may not be accurate, but I'm speaking through the lens of understanding that I have, which has proved useful for me over the years in getting myself into states where I can be the best version of me. And the real distinction comes in the fact that motivation for me is that thing that I create when I need to get something done. I have to do something. This may not be incredibly exciting. I may have to motivate myself to tidy up the house on a Sunday. I may have to motivate myself to go and clean the chicken coop out. I may have to motivate myself to go and plow the field. All of these things may require motivation because I just have to go and do them. Whereas when I'm inspired, it's different. Inspiration for me is when I'm excited to go and do something and I'm pulled into the moment, and it no longer becomes about me. It becomes about the situation, and I'm just a vessel for energy and attention to be pushed into that direction. I'm removed from it. So how then, in a situation, can we kind of create this inspiration? Well, with the distinction I've just given you, it's kind of hard. Well, I still need to clean the chicken coop. I still need to tidy my house. The field still needs to be plowed. Otherwise, we won't be harvesting in a few months' time. All of these things still need to be done. So if they fall into that bracket of motivation, how can the understanding of inspiration be useful? And for me, it's very simple. It falls into another area that I've infused into my life, which is gamification. Now, gamification is the concept of taking a mundane task and turning it into a game in any way. Now, when I first heard of this, I thought this is brilliant. It kind of acts with my immature juvenile way. But the more I started looking into it, the more I was like, wow, this is incredibly powerful because we are set up to play games. There's also a lot of studies which look at the fact that human beings in a state of play are far more powerful than human beings who are in a state of just work or being driven to do something. There's a wonderful doctor called Karen Purvis, and she completed a study whereas they looked at the amount of repetitions it took somebody to learn something. Now, in a normal learning situation, it was 400 repetitions before that action had got to the level of knowing, which we call unconscious competence, where it's like second nature. The second test group were playing, learning the same things, but just playing games. And she found that looking at when we play, when we're trying to learn something, we need 20 repetitions, not 400. So we learn 20 times quicker. Now, we get back to gamification. When we're doing something, we are 20 times more efficient, 20 times more capable of grasping the concept, applying it and making it ours than we are when we're just driven by work. As well as that, when we're excited to play, for those who still play in their life, you'll know what I mean. For those who don't, let's maybe think back to childhood. Summers, which for me were infused with playing football in the fields and waking up at the crack of dawn as soon as sunrise to run out there and play football all through the summer. And I mean like 10-hour days for 12 weeks or something silly. It was insane. But I was inspired because it was so fun and so enjoyable and so close to my passion. And gamification allows me to create that kind of energy within any other thing that I do. If I turn everything into a game. So again, tidying my bedroom or tidying my house, I find ways to make that a game. Whether it's the kind of game where I'm finding ways to make the room look nicer than it ever has done before. It's a very basic one. Or timing myself to put things away. Again, a very basic one, but still fun if that's your thing. Or the game may be to tidy up the house and to leave 2 or 3 little surprises for your partner around the house that you don't tell them about. But if they find, will make them really happy. It turns your whole exercise into a game. You become inspired because you know you're going to make your partner happy. And when they find it, it's beautiful. In terms of cleaning out the chicken coop, again, going in there and playing for me a role and a character, or of a caregiver and a supporter. These are beautiful divine beings running around. They're dedicating their lives to us, and as part of the team, it's my role as their coach and their mentor and their manager to get in there and get that clean and get it in the best way possible. Now, this is a game that resonates with me. Again, there's many other games. Plowing the field, my kind of OCD comes in here because it's kind of like, if you mow the grass, it kind of becomes fun, drawing a pattern and getting it all organized. So for me, I have this game in my mind where I try to see if I can make the tracks as straight as possible, and I'll go around the field edgeways like this rather than next to it, so I can try and make that as difficult as possible. And this is just a game I play in there, and before I know it, I'm kind of like halfway through the field and I'm like not even thinking about the work I have to do. So gamification for me is a way that we can start to become inspired in the activities that normally require us to summon motivation. And it's incredibly powerful. If I look at kind of anything I do in my life, nothing feels strenuous anymore. Nothing feels difficult. Everything is just really, really easy. I kind of just get up and do it. I sometimes wonder if I'm being negligent just because I kind of dance through my existence. But then when I stop and check and balance everything that's going on, I realize, no, I'm not. I'm just not getting hung up on nonsense. And I'm not getting pulled into something I don't want to do. Because this is something that's interesting. My early years, I was so used to the stress related with having to do things that I really didn't want to do and having to force motivation out of me, that as soon as my life got to a point where that wasn't the case, it was like something was missing. I had become so used to the stress and the angst, and an example is like my work used to stress me. So Sunday night, Sunday from 2 p.m, I'd be thinking, oh, I've got to go to work tomorrow, and getting down, whatever. Now, when I made my shift in the last few years, and I now do kind of whatever I want each day, when this first happened on the Sunday, I would get there and this feeling wouldn't be with me. And then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm missing something. I'm not doing something. I've forgotten about something. And it wasn't. I'd sit and check and balance everything and realize, no, I have integrity in everything I'm doing. I'm just not used to feeling so clean and light and easy. And that's stunning. That was a stunning moment. And again, for me, this all comes back to this gamification piece, turning life into fun, turning life into something enjoyable. And in the process, finding absolute stacks of energy and focus inside that you can use to get you there. So I hope this has been useful. If anyone has any questions about how to gamify any aspect of what they're doing, any aspect of their life, reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And if you've watched all of this and you haven't found it enjoyable and it's been a waste of time, I'm sorry for wasting time this day. I hope it finishes better than it has been in the last 10 minutes. So big love. Bye for now. Have an amazing day.